And we are live. Hey everybody, it's Will Middleton and Kurt Von Ahnen from LifterLMS. We'll be here for the next 45 minutes or so answering your questions about LifterLMS, getting started, and any questions you have, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're coming to you at a little bit of a different time than we usually do. Usually we're live Thursdays, 11 a.m. Pacific time, but we're coming 6:15 a.m. Pacific time to check out what the LifterLMS community has for questions and see if these earlier morning calls are of interest to people. So we'll see based on attendance and interaction if we should run some more early morning calls, or if we are better off doing the afternoon for me Eastern time, or maybe even nighttime, just experimenting with the time of the call. But Kurt, you're no longer in Pacific time, you're in Central time now in Kansas. You got the new office set up. How are you feeling this, I was gonna say Monday morning, it's Tuesday morning.
Oh yeah. It's Tuesday, Will. It's Tuesday. It's good. It's good. My new office is kind of nice. You know, I like it. It's clean, right? So it's clean. It's open. And I got this cool stand-up desk. So you guys are this high. That's nice. I can stand up and do some stuff. I can walk around a little bit, you know, and then I got 3 memory settings. I just push a button and I can be sitting down, or I could be squatting, or I could be standing up.
Nice. Let me see.
The internet's fast here too.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of competition, like with a bunch of people trying to stream through your neighborhood or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I got fiber optic internet for the first time in my life, so I'm like, wow, man, this is crispy.
Well, it looks like we've already got some questions coming in, which is awesome. Awesome to see. First question is, can you break down this cohort and what it will be doing? So I assume that's going to be the cohorts add-on, LifterLMS cohorts. And LifterLMS cohorts allows you to, I'll put a video here in the chat as well, allows you to create sort of, it's a cohort of a course, a group of people who will be going through your course at a certain date. There can be certain restrictions on that cohort. You could have maybe certain drip settings, different instructor on the cohort, kind of just taking a course you already have and creating a sub course off of that main course's content that has different restrictions, different reporting, and sort of a different back end. And it could be customized if you wanted to change some content in it as well for the front end. So it creates a little bit of a different user experience than having all of your students enroll in one course and then having to split up the reporting and having to have all the same drip settings and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of the motivation for cohorts was that people wanted a start time and an end time for different groups who would be going through their courses. They wanted a January cohort that would go to January through April, and then another one starting in May that would go through June or whatever. So they wanted different groups of people who'd be going through, and you can't really do that in LifterLMS with just a single course. You could have a start date for the course and an end date for the course, but you couldn't have someone sign up for the January class and someone sign up for the May class. And so this addresses that issue. And there is the LifterLMS course scheduler from Aspen and Grove Studios. I think they might have changed their name to Course Zone or something like that. But there was a solution, a third-party solution for that, but we kept getting the question all the time. So we developed an add-on to help do something similar. And they do function a little bit differently, but the Lifter Cohorts add-on will hopefully be releasing shortly, and you've seen some promotional content about it. I'll put a link in chat as well for a video.
Yeah, the cohorts thing is interesting because you run into different clients, different creators that always want to do some tweak just a little bit different, right? And it's so you can't just make these features stock and available for every instance or every installation of the platform, right? Because it would make the thing unwieldy and confusing for folks that didn't want those features. So the cohort thing is answers the question a lot of people ask, and there's a ton of people that'll be like, I don't even know why I would want this. Because we had that happen on the last call. Someone was like, I don't even know why I would want that. And it's like, well, you have to remember, LifterLMS wasn't created just for you. It was created for, thousands of people to be creators. And hopefully this answers a question that a lot of people are looking for.
Right. Another question from the YouTube channel last week. What does LMS mean? That's a good question. I guess LMS stands for Learning Management System. So in LifterLMS, you'd hear about like Learn.LMS, LifterLMS, SenseiLMS, like all these WordPress online course and some membership solutions are about managing learning. So LMS at a high level mostly it applies to courses and quizzes and assignments and learning content, but it can even extend beyond that to learning content in general that is embedded in the website. Kurt, do you have like a input on what LMS means at a high level?
Yeah, unfortunately I do. And that's because LMS meant so many different things to so many different people over time, especially with SaaS applications and purpose-built things that corporations would use. So in the end, my definition of a learning management system is anything that provides education, but tracks the progress of the user through that education and gives the ability to test and report on that person's progress.
Awesome.
There's people that have built, I'm going to make this overly simple, Will, because it could be as easy as some Google Docs, a couple of YouTube videos strung together and organized on some HTML website, like do this, click this link, fill in this form, take this quiz, boom. And although you and I would look at that and go, well, that doesn't do this and that doesn't do that, and that doesn't really track the users in a database, and that doesn't really, there's things that you and I would say. Technically, some people ran LMSs like with that kind of a structure. There's also like a lot of plugins that were out that you could like put a course in, but there was no testing and there was no reporting and there was no nothing, and people still called it an LMS. So if you're really shopping for a learning management system and you do just the broad search for LMS, you'll pull up hundreds of options. And so you really need to take a look at, if you're really shopping for an LMS, you really need to take a look at what's included and what it does.
For sure. Yeah, that's a great answer to what is LMS. I was typing that out in the background as you were talking. And another question, can I ask if LifterLMS is compatible with MySQL 8 and PHP 8? It's definitely compatible with PHP 8, and I'm pretty sure it's compatible with MySQL 8 as well. Looking at resources online, it's you have to have SQL 5.6 or greater, and this is something that your host would be able to set up for you, but looks like a lot of hosts are currently running SQL 8, and so yeah, LifterLMS, I haven't seen any incompatibilities with it. And then Chris Lassiter, coming to us in the morning.
All the way from Japan.
Do you have a plan on making major updates to the reporting tools of LifterLMS? Also, the biggest feature our customers ask is want to assign a course to a user within a group. Do you plan on adding group leader to assign course? I wouldn't expect to see the group leader assign a course thing happen within like the next 6 months, as like that's relatively custom. I don't know if they'll be getting back to LifterLMS groups within that time frame, and then reporting tools, upgrading the reporting tools. I know we had talked about removing the beta status on reporting tools. When you go into the LifterLMS backend, it says that the reporting is in beta, but that's just something it's been listed as for like 6 years, ever since the reporting had been released. So I don't think there's going to be a major overhaul to reporting, other than like, I don't know if Lifter Cohorts has reporting yet. I haven't really gotten hands-on with that one yet, since it hasn't been released. But yeah, so I don't have too many great answers from the product side, insights from the product team on reporting tools with LifterLMS and the groups. I wouldn't expect to see the groups thing in the next 6 months, and I don't know if the reporting will be updated as a high priority. I think the higher priorities right now are the PayPal 3.0. We met with them yesterday to keep pushing that forward and try to get access to the APIs we need to push that live. And then I have to look at other development schedule priorities. There's the cohorts thing. There's the AI course builder thing that'll be coming to the LifterLMS Academy, where our users will be able to go to academy.lifterlms.com and input their content, or fill out this sort of a survey thing, and it'll give them a custom tailored course based on some advanced AI prompts, and it'll give you a response back that you could use in your courses for content and stuff like that. And then there was another short-term development thing. I'm trying to think of what it was. It might come to me, but those aren't short-term development priorities, unfortunately. But I think those are on our feature request board.
Ohio gozaimasu. Hey, on the reporting part, Will, we had a client. Remember, we did on a it was on one of our lives. I can't remember if it was a mastermind call or one of these other lives, where someone had added custom fields and then added that field to reporting. That was a fairly simple process. I guess it depends on what you're looking to do with the updates and the reporting tools.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because the reporting screen can be customized. Let's run this reporting. Custom columns to the reporting table. So if there are certain things that you want it to be reported on, adding a custom function to add, if you wanted to add like achievements and courses and things like that to various tables in the reporting, you can do that. I'm trying to think of what custom fields.
One was the custom field I remember was like business name, and then they could sort the reporting by business name or something when they did a CSV export.
Oh yeah. So you can use this code here to add custom fields to the Lifter reporting. So if there's like for a specific client project or something like that, adding a reporting value could be done with some custom PHP there. That's
so there were options there depending on what you want to do, and then the whole thing with having a group leader being able to add people to courses. If we think about this in terms of what it's actually doing, the group leader is someone that bought access to a specific course through the course creator. So the course creator typically wouldn't want to give the group leader, access to assign other courses, right? Unless they knew that had been bought or sold or whatever. But technically, I guess you could assign that group leader a different role, and they could assign courses that way.
Right. Yeah.
Like if they were an instructor, or if they were an LMS manager, or if they were something else, then you would be empowering that role to do things in the back end.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have it from the group's interface. The group's interface allows you to assign one course or a membership to the group, like as the website admin, and then anybody who enrolls into that group will have access to that course or membership, but it wouldn't give them access to specific courses or memberships. Assigning a course would, in the current setup of Lifter, would have to look something like assigning a membership to a group that might include 5 courses, and then the group leader would manually tell users, take this course, take that course, or something like that. You could even get a little bit more creative if you were to create a membership that group had access to. And the membership did not automatically enroll people in courses, but it did include free access to a few courses. In LifterLMS, we can set up pull up my screen again. We can set up an access plan that is free, but it's only available to members. So we can have a course, like the Quick Start course. And what we would say is, we would do this on all of our courses or a bunch of them. We would have free pricing, but the plan availability would be members only. And this would be like the group membership. So you'd have to be in the Academy membership in this example to be able to sign up for free in this course. And then what the group leaders could do is send links to the courses to their students and say, hey, sign up for these 3 courses. And they would not automatically be on the student's dashboard when they signed up for the group, because they're not doing auto enrollment, but instead it would be free, but you do have to be a member to get access to the course. So they have free access to a bunch of courses, and the group leader would send links to their users to tell them which ones to sign up for. And I've actually been working with a continuing education site, it's not a continuing education, it's like a required court education for people who get in trouble with the law and have to take some court classes, where they're selling the courses to a larger organization who's paying for their users to take the course. And they're just manually reporting on who's taken what course and who's completed. Like at the end of the month, they'll go through and tally up and send out an invoice. But it's profitable enough where it's not too much of a pain to manually report at the end of the month who's completed which courses. And in that case, they actually created multiple groups for multiple courses. So another creative setup there would be to create like 3 groups for one organization, each with access to a certain course. And then the group leader could have 3 links that they could give out. You know, if they want one user to take all 3 courses, they'd give them all 3 links, or one user could take 1 course, they'd give them just 1 link. And then their users could sign up with certain groups, but then it would have to be manually reported as to who signed up for what group and what to charge the organization based on that. Hopefully that makes sense.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. There's a few options in there. And Adam Silver says hi from Ireland.
Run, Adam, run. Run, Adam, run. Oh, you don't know that song, Will, because you're old. It used to be Fly, Robin, Fly. It's from the 70s. Fly,
Okay.
Robin, fly.
You mean like the 1900s?
Yeah. That's what you young people say. You say, wow, that guy's old. He was born in the late 1900s.
Yeah. Let me see.
All right.
Through YouTube, what can I ask? Oh yeah, I gotta answer this question about PHP 8. This is a good question. I guess I didn't answer this on YouTube last week, but I'll answer it in the comments here. I don't know, Kurt, if you want to take this one while I type out some answers here in the background. Is the plugin free or paid? This is something we talked about last week, but I got to type out the answer here as well.
Well, I can definitely take that question. And in the meantime, I did look up Fly, Robin, Fly on YouTube. I might play that in the background by the end of our call if there's no questions or comments. Is the plugin free or paid? You know, not only do I cover it here, but like I just covered this last week. We did a full review of LifterLMS on the WP Tonic podcast. And it's not even from me. Like Jonathan Denwood from WP Tonic, he's amazed at how much LifterLMS gives away for free. Right. So he constantly brings that up. He says, "Whoa, I'm amazed at what can do for free." And welcome back, everybody. So yeah, so you can manage your learning content, unlimited lessons, unlimited courses, unlimited students. We never limit the number of like content or students or people that you can contact with LifterLMS, and all of that is in the free core plugin. There's even a manual payment gateway. So let's say that you want to collect, you know, PayPal or Stripe outside the platform and then manually give people access to the courses that you create. You can do that. That's a great way to do a proof of concept or to make sure that, you know, your stuff has, you know, an attraction for somebody. But when you decide to get serious about, you know, marketing or selling your content, we have some premium add-ons that also come with a value. So, you know, if you want to add a payment gateway like PayPal, Stripe, or WooCommerce or Authorize.net, we've got a premium add-on for that. If you want to integrate with a CRM tool like MailChimp or ConvertKit, you know, we've got a premium add-on for that. And then as your project grows, maybe you want to add some kind of social tools, or maybe you want to add groups. You heard us talking about groups not too long ago. You want to add groups, or you want to add, you know, some of these other premium features to a learning management system. Well, those premium features come through a premium add-on. And then to make it easier, we have what we call bundles. So we have the Earth bundle, which is a very simple bundle. It gives you a payment gateway and lets you sell your products. And that's super, super affordable. And then we have the Universe bundle, and that's like $360 a year, but that gives you the payment gateway. I believe it also gives you access to SkyPilot, and it gives you access to integrate with different CRM add-ons and things like that, and gives you like a way to integrate your forms. So if you want to put a form, like a Gravity form or a WP form, into like your lessons and courses, or do surveys within your content, you can integrate that with LifterLMS. And then the next one that we have is kind of the all hands in, the Infinity bundle. And with the Infinity bundle, you get all of our add-ons, and you can do unlimited sites. So you kind of become an agency. Like not all agencies, by the way, need to buy LifterLMS. An agency sometimes gets the customer to buy the platform, or they, maybe they make custom plugins and they're integrating the LifterLMS core into other situations. But if you're an agency like me, I'm an implementer agency, so I don't do custom much of anything. So with me, I license products out that have unlimited active sites, and then I reuse that license and build as many sites as I can and make a living building sites for other people. So the Infinity Bundle suits my needs really, really, really well. I think we killed that one.
Absolutely, that's a great answer.
Boom. Yeah. I want to skip that ad. When did this song come out? This song is old. Fly, Robin, fly. Oh yeah, this is a funky song, bro. I don't think you can have to. I don't know if I can present. Share screen. Window. Can you even hear the song?
I cannot hear the song.
Oh yeah, it's out there, man. Oh yeah, listen to that synthesized horn. Oh yeah.
I don't think it's I don't think it's coming through on our end.
I was jamming out. Anyway, that's the song I think of when I think of Adam. I think of Run, Adam, Run. Run, Adam, Run. I hope Adam.
Oh, go ahead.
I hope Adam is sufficiently embarrassed now. Dang, where are these comments at? Here's what we got to do. You got to put the banner in there that says, ask questions. Ask questions in the chat.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Just checking out our Facebook group. Doesn't seem to have any new comments since our last. Ooh, that's a bright orange picture.
I just got an amazing new client just yesterday.
Oh, nice. What? Who's that? Or like, what's their project?
Their project is they do a ton of makeup. They do like special effects makeup, and they teach other people how to do like makeup for anything. It turns out it's all different, right? So what do I know? I'm not into makeup. I'm bald. I don't wear eyeliner, none of that stuff. But like there's makeup classes for people that do weddings, for TV commercials, for music videos. It was funny. The lady that runs the business, she was telling me about doing makeup for Jesse James for the Making Motorcycle show. Like, and I don't know, I'm a dude that works on motorcycles. I never thought about getting dolled up to make them. But yeah, it'll be an interesting project. Lots of content. Yeah, so this one's going to take some time. We'll be working on this for an extended period. So I know that you, because now we can just spitball because nobody wants to wake up and give us any comments. You're a fan of like one course per site, right? That's kind of like your thing. You don't like directories so much?
Yeah, I don't usually create a lot of directory websites, but my courses are on different topics.
Yeah. I am in an association, and I wasn't even aware of this. So one of my contracts, I worked with the Marine Retailers Association, and the Marine Retailers Association has an unbelievable library of really well done e-learning content in the marine industry. And it's like hundreds of courses, from people all over. It's almost like a course marketplace, right? Because they have other course creators and providers that have provided content to them. But and it just really struck me because pardon me, if we think about our mastermind group, and we can plug the mastermind group here as soon as I get done with this sentence, but remember John down in Australia, he had like thousands of courses. He had courses all over Australia. And so sometimes I wonder, it's almost like, how they say the riches are in the niches, right? So like business wise, do you want to focus on making websites? Do you want to focus on making websites in WordPress? Do you want to focus on working on websites in WordPress that do membership and learning? Do you want to focus on websites in WordPress that do membership and learning that focus on bicycling, right? Like you can just keep niching down, right? But then there's this other approach where, man, you could just take that whole pot of spaghetti and throw it up against the wall and see which ones stick the best.
Yeah, there's a lot of merit to doing it either way, like where you have a directory with a bunch of courses or a single course. I think a lot of the courses I do are sort of just one-off projects or maybe in a validation phase. But yeah, I never thought about that. Most of the sites I build are just single course websites for myself. For clients, of course, it could be any number of courses. But yeah, it's a lot of just like filling demand. And I think my courses all funnel people just to single course products. I have a course about Elementor, a course about Eagle Scout. I've made a lot of courses, but I don't remember what they are. I've created courses on like the Groundhog Academy, courses in the Lifter Academy. Those are kind of directories. Trying to think of other. Have I really built a lot of other personal courses? Yeah, I used to build like online like SEO training courses and stuff like that. Those didn't really get traction, so I took those down. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube content. The YouTube content is a lot like a directory. It's all public, but it's like a big directory of content where people can kind of self-select what content they'd like. But a lot of my stuff is like story driven, so it's a single product.
Yeah, and that's really interesting to think about the different methodologies and the ways to move things like that. But a great way to learn about other people that do that is to join the weekly Mastermind Office Hours call.
Exactly. Yeah, that's available now in the Universe Bundle. So Universe and Infinity Bundle customers, we have a Zoom meeting once a week every Thursday. I think it's 1 p.m. Pacific time. I know it's 4 p.m.
Yeah, it's 4 p.m. Eastern
Pacific. So 1 p.m. Pacific, yeah. So yeah, that call is an hour long where we get, sometimes like 5 to 12 customers who are in there jamming about challenges they're having, strategic ideas, integrations they're working with, tools they're working with related to Lifter, related to site building. There's some agency people in there. There's a lot of stuff going on in that channel that's a little more specific than what we discuss here. Like we talk a lot on our live stream publicly about LifterLMS getting started, what you can do out of the box, and some high level stuff about what you can do with the tools. But for some more specific demos of how people are using Elementor and Video Cipher or LifterLMS alongside Divi and things like that, we take a little more of an in-depth look at specific examples and specific challenges on that live call. And it's a great resource to learn from others in the LMS space. So LifterLMS Office Hours Mastermind available in the Universe Bundle and Infinity Bundle. Check it out. It's newly added to the Universe Bundle. It didn't used to be, but now it's at the bottom. Weekly Mastermind private Facebook group.
Fancy. We put it in writing. It must be true. Ooh.
Oh, it's awesome. Well, we have about 15 minutes left. Let's see. I was surprised to see in the Facebook group, this is something you'd commented on, there was like demand for like more full site editing capabilities. And that's good to see, I guess, because I've heard a lot of resistance about like people getting integrated into full site editing. So it's nice to have I guess people on the other side of the spectrum there who are interested in pushing more into full site editing, even more deeply, like on the cutting edge of what it's doing.
Well, full site editing is really, if you think about like the WP Tonic show, or you think about these other, YouTubers that make comments on it, it's not like consistently liked or consistently hated. People seem to kind of waver back and forth on it. I think it's a lot of the changes they made, it seemed quickly, but I'm sure it was in the works much longer than it took. And then the one stumble that I think that it has, that a lot of people keep pointing out, not just me, but others, is just working in the menus. People get so confused about going back and forth where to work on a menu.
Yeah, the navigation is a little bit complicated where you have the, I think I have it on here, appearance editor, yeah. You have that appearance menus area, but you also have the appearance editor, and the appearance editor and the navigation area is really where you'll be building the menus, but then you can import them from that main menus area, the older menu interface. They can be imported from there. So if you were to maybe design a new navigation, this is what my navigation block looks like, and this is where you're supposed to be editing that menu. But when you're creating a new navigation block, I wonder if I can't do it here. But if I were to go to maybe edit my header, let's see if I can find it now. It should be template parts, I thought, or patterns. Headers. Can I edit this? It is locked. I might not be able to edit it. Let me just, if I were to create a custom homepage header, add in a navigation block, and sort of design something new, I could import a classic menu, and these classic menus will be the ones under the appearance menu area. And so when you click on one of these buttons, the idea I think a lot of people have is that we're selecting the menu, like select to use this menu, but what we're instead doing is just importing it. So we're gonna copy the links and the names that menu has for like the menu items. Like this would be the homepage, here's the homepage link, here's the contact page, here's the contact page link. It just copies that into the blocks interface, but then it wants you to edit it in blocks from then on out. Instead of selecting that as the menu to use, and then whenever you update that menu in appearance menus, it'll automatically update, which is not how that is currently designed to work. And I don't think it will be designed to work that way, because I think they're trying to move away from that appearance menus area into designing everything in blocks, designing your menus in blocks, designing your header, footer, body, content, sidebar, everything designed in blocks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that whole menu thing's just going to disappear. Like any site that says edit site at the top probably isn't going to have appearance menus down the left side, would be my guess. But for right now, it does add a little confusion. When I answered when I responded to that, after I responded, I thought, wow, that might have sounded a little short or a little quirky, because it was like, when can we expect more features? And I'm like, in time. It's not that old. I mean, full site editing is really only a few months old when you think about it. Like as far as being released with 6.2, right? And then being re-released in 6.3 with some changes. It's there's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of rotations around the sun for this. So I think it's just one of those things that you need to be patient, because the rest of the world's got to catch up to the changes. And man, if I owned a company, I would be hesitant to jump full bore in on something that WordPress just put in place, knowing that they might change it in a year, or they might recycle something, because you have to put a lot of work into maintaining whatever you create.
Yeah, for sure. And the Sky Pilot theme is still pretty cutting edge, how they're like changing the full site editing interface, changing the names of even like what a reusable block is, introducing the concept of patterns and synced patterns and stuff like that. So the WordPress core is having a lot of changes to the philosophy of how it works as they see users picking it up and using it and getting hands-on.
So something else occurred to me while I was sitting here looking at our Facebook page, and that's when you look at the LifterLMS Facebook page, Successful Online Course and Membership Creators by LifterLMS, Dude, there's a ton of live content coming through now because Chris is making stuff. We're making stuff. I mean, the one I'm looking at now, he just did one 4 days ago with Sarah Duran. It looked like that was a really good show, really good interview.
Yeah, that was the one I think we were doing at the same time.
Yeah,
we were live, and they were live at the same time here in StreamYard.
Yeah. So if you're watching this by chance and you're like, who are these two clowns? Run over to Successful Online Course and Membership Creators in Facebook and grab a piece of the content you see in there. There's a ton of stuff. And your Feature Friday thing is fun. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Feature Fridays where we highlight some interesting ways to use LifterLMS that people might not have thought about. Like at LifterLMS, we spend a lot of time answering questions about how you could create a certain setup. Like we had the question about groups earlier from Chris in chat, and how do we assign a certain course to someone in the group? So thinking about creating a membership and then a free access that only applies to memberships, or thinking about creating multiple groups and then sending out links individually would be like kind of unique and interesting ways to use LifterLMS that most people might not think about. So the Feature Friday is a way where me and Chris hop on live once a week, and we take a community suggestion usually, and we'll demonstrate how to create that kind of setup. I don't even remember what the Feature Fridays are about. These morning live streams happen at a time when my brain isn't really fully activated. So I don't remember what happened in Feature Fridays. I go back and look at these live streams and I'm like, oh, I don't remember that one. But Feature Friday last week was about how to run a course for brand collaborators. So as a YouTuber, someone might be interested in having a brand sponsor them to build a course on their website, which is a pretty common thing for YouTubers to do, is get engaged with online learning. I've seen a lot more online learning YouTubers coming up over the last 5 years or so. And instead of going the Patreon route, where they'll have a donation platform, which you could also create and run through Lifter. We have a video on how to create Patreon. But you could also create an online academy as a YouTuber where you'd sell more premium access to things, and the things you'd sell premium access to might be about, like, I don't know, if NordVPN decided to sponsor you to build a privacy course, or even if they had privacy course content that you wanted to put on your site, get profit from as the YouTuber, you could do that. Basically rebranding other people's educational content or sponsors educational content for your YouTube channel. That's what that video was about, Feature Friday last week. And those are pretty popular and definitely worth checking out.
I finally remembered my hat, and now I'm branded.
Nice. In the room I'm in right now, it's like 95 degrees. I'm like sitting in like an oven. So it's like this room is like all glass, and there's like, as the sun comes up, it just heats up this room. It's got 2 exterior walls and not much insulation. So it gets pretty toasty.
How long you plan on staying there, bro?
I'm here until October 5th, so I've got about 2 more weeks.
Dang, you booked a long-term spot.
Yeah, an Airbnb, they give you a discount if you book over a week, and then there's a bigger discount if you book over a month. So I booked 1 month, and so it's a pretty reasonable rate. It's about $1,300 or so. So that's, about what it would cost to have a lease pay rent. It's a bit more. Having a lease on a 1-bed, 1-bath place here would probably be like $1,000, but then you add utilities like Wi-Fi, sewer, water, you would end up at about $200 higher than that. So about $1,200 would be reasonable to expect for something like this. So not too much more. You can just Airbnb it out and not have to worry about most of the issues there.
I interrupt this broadcast for a very important shout out. My wife just brought me a cup of coffee. I didn't want to make coffee this morning and be loud downstairs because we're on the air so early.
Yeah, it's I remember like when you were in California, it would be like 6 a.m. would be
now
the
she's
morning
upset
meeting.
because she was awake. I got to tell the world she was awake.
But yeah, like you'd be like trying to keep it quiet, try to keep the lights off at 6 a.m. For the daily meeting. And I'm more of a night owl person, and so the earlier meetings for me, I'm in the East Coast of the U.S., so that's the furthest to the east I can go in the U.S. in order to have the latest times for meetings. But I did much prefer being in Europe, where I could have our daily stand-up meeting at LifterLMS at about 4 p.m., 3 to 4 p.m., and then stay up until 4 or 5 a.m. That's my natural.
I am somewhat amazed that you came back from Europe.
Yeah, I had driveway coating to do. I did like house maintenance and stuff, but I would definitely like to go back and figure out some more stuff about Western Europe.
Yeah, they have some pretty liberal working visa policies in Portugal.
Nice. I think I just got a text message from somebody who's in Portugal right now, or 20 minutes ago. I'll have to read that, but it's a client. Let's see what the question is. Can we implement new certificates? That's a good question. So we'll use Will's text messages as questions for the live stream. Can we implement certificates in Lifter? I don't understand the LifterLMS certificate plugin. Do I need something because I'm not happy with my current certificates? Okay, so LifterLMS has certificates built in out of the box. We talked about the free plugin earlier, how there are certain features built into the free course, certain features and add-ons. And LifterLMS doesn't actually have a certificate add-on. That's included in the free core plugin, which is awesome to have that functionality built in. And the certificate builder uses blocks now. That was a huge update for Lifter at the time. I can't remember if that was 5.0. I think it was 5.0 that was introduced in Lifter. We're currently on like 7.3, but LifterLMS 5.0 was when the certificate builder was overhauled, I'm pretty sure, and it could have been 6.0, but certificate builder being overhauled was a big thing where we could now use blocks to design Lifter. We could do columns, we could have custom spacing. And then when the WordPress core updates the block system and now introduced padding and margins, now padding and margins are something that's an option in LifterLMS out of the box. And so that's just really cool to have. Like, I've had customers ask, how do we, can we align something with like our background image a little bit better? And that used to be really complicated. We'd have to add a CSS class and then go into the customizer and change the pixels in the class. And now it's just like, it's all in the block editor. You have access to padding on columns now. We can align things super easily. So certificates in Lifter are one of the nicer.
You're still better at it than I am. Like, I'm tempted just to hire you to make my custom certificates.
I gotta, and we'll wrap up here in a second. I got a tag from Chris. Where is that? Oh yeah. Cool. Well, we're at the top of the hour now. I have to jump to a third-party meeting with LifterLMS, but Will Middleton and Kurt Von Ahnen from LifterLMS, thanks for joining us in this call, and let us know any comments or questions you have in the comments section of wherever you see us, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We'll be live later this week.
Right on.